According to Axios.com, over 550,000 people have moved out of New York in 2022. In California, it's been over 820,000. We're going to talk about that in today's video. But before we get started, we got to go ahead and throw out a word to our sponsor, and that's me. We're going to talk about our Patreon page. A lot of you guys are patrons. I appreciate the patrons out there. You guys are the ones keeping this show running because YouTube has basically put the kibosh on my channel and getting to new audiences. A couple months ago, or about a month ago, I put these books on our Patreon page. And YouTube is removing every single video that has to do with the content of these books put out by other channels and my channel. I've had a couple of videos removed. No strikes, but they just take the videos down and say they can't be monetized, they can't be on YouTube because they provide misinformation. So these books, if you were to buy them on Amazon, would cost you $1,000 a piece. Okay, they're out of print, they're out of copyright, and I have the 3rd edition PDFs available for my patrons and my patrons only. To join my patrons, it's only $1. Okay, so you can support us at other levels too. I appreciate that. But if you join Patreon, this is worth the price of admission. This is like worth their weight in gold. These 2 books, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, they're taking this information off the internet. You can join my patrons, become a patron for an American Homestead, and get these books for $1. And again, if you support me at higher levels, I appreciate that. We just launched our Discord server over at Patreon. You can link it there. If you're on Discord, you can join us over there. We're going to be doing some videos over at Discord just for the patrons starting next week. My kids are setting all that up because I have no idea how Discord works. I'm learning, basically. So let's go over to this article by Axios. It says, Top 10 Moves Between States in 2022. This is a fantastic map. This came out just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I got to do a video on this. One of my favorite channels out there is Louis Rossmann. Now, Louis Rossmann used to live in New York, and he moved to Texas. So this map is, kind of giving a showcase into a lot of different areas of our country and the personalities that we know. We're actually seeing this in real life. Louis Rossmann has a channel. It's called Louis Rossmann on YouTube. And let me just say, he's one of the channels. I have a few channels that I watch, and I don't watch them around my children because, he's from New York and he has a little bit of a more colorful language than most people in the Midwest might have. Okay, and he talks about some things that, I just don't really want my kids hearing, but he does provide valuable information, and the insight into his life is something that I can look at and be like, okay, this guy represents a portion of America, and a portion of America that we're talking about today that's changing the landscape and culture. This is a guy who has seen the ridiculous bureaucracy run amok in a state, New York, and in particular New York City. And he finally said, enough. I'm out of here. He was a small business owner running a shop in New York City. And the videos, I've been watching this guy for a couple years. And I recommend his channel. Go watch it. But again, it's not very kid friendly. I like to watch a lot of my stuff like when I'm doing stuff around the house. And the kids are listening. They're doing their homeschool. And it's like he's just one of those people I can't listen to around my children. I have a few channels like that. But it's okay. Again, you're peering into the window of a culture change, and Louis Rossmann provides that. And so he's a small business owner who just encountered enough. He had reached the limit of ridiculous government bureaucracy. And so he said, I'm out of here. And he moved to Texas. And New York City is still bothering him with letters and threatenings of fines and all this stuff. It's like, does New York even know that he's gone yet? They're that incompetent. Watching his videos has been really entertaining. Again, warnings aside. Now let's go back to the map. Top 10 moves between states in 2022. It says 550,000 people. Now, divided those up, they're kind of giving rough estimates on where these people are going outside of New York. So we don't even see Rossmann's track here going to Texas because that's where he went to. But we see a major portion of these going to Florida because Florida is closer. We see a lot of people going to Connecticut, a lot of people going to New Jersey, just trying to switch seats onto Hindenburg, basically, as it were. And you see a lot of people, heading to from Florida going to Georgia. And this is something that I'm seeing a lot more of too. We're going to get over here. Let's go over to California. But keep in mind this Georgia, this escape to Georgia. So you have all these people coming from California, and 102,000 people go to Texas. Okay. Now, in my area, you can always find transplants. I don't see any arrows going to Arkansas or Missouri in the Ozarks where I live here. But you don't have to search very hard to find people from California in our area. But another thing you don't have to search long and hard for are people from Texas moving to my area, because they're seeing all of these people coming in, and the people in Texas are like, oh my goodness, I got to get out of here. And so they're running to different places. Same with Florida and Georgia. I mean, this is very telling. And here's the reality. And this is one of the reasons why I think a video like this is important. Notice also you have people people moving to Washington, people going to Nevada, people going to Arizona. And then that's all very telling. But here's the thing that the rest of the country is worried about. Don't vote like you did back home. Please, for the love of Pete, do not vote the way you did back home. The rest of us are scared to death. Do you understand why you encountered all of the insane bureaucracy and all of the crazy overbearance of government? It's because you voted the way you did, and you put that in power. It just didn't show up one day. Someone came along and says, you know what, we should have more government regulations. And everyone else was like, yeah, we need more government regulations. And so we got more government regulations, and you had so many laws and so much bureaucracy that you couldn't even walk down the street, literally. You couldn't even just run a business without the insanity of government coming in, knocking on your door, and spilling out stupid all out of their mouth. That's what Louis Rossmann has encountered. And, there's one thing, as I love listening to Louis and his stories that he tells of all of the insane bureaucracy and just the complete incompetence of the government that is operating in New York and New York City right now. I love listening to his stories. I have not yet once, and maybe I've missed it because I don't watch all of his videos, but I watch some of them. Maybe I've missed it where he talked about, we did this to ourselves. We brought this on ourselves. And yes, I'm now in Texas, but I'm never going to vote the way I did back home. I'm never going to try and bring that level of incompetence to power again. That's one thing I see. I see a lot of people leaving. I see a lot of people jumping ship. I see a lot of people switching seats on the Hindenburg, as it were. But do they realize what got them what set the Hindenburg on fire in the first place? Because if you don't realize that, you're going to do it again. And thus, you have these people from Florida and Texas who are from those areas in full-blown panic mode because they're seeing all these people coming because of the incompetence of where they were and are asking the question, do they realize what got them in that position in the first place? Because if they didn't learn their lesson, and sometimes it's hard for us humans to learn our lesson, we have to be students of history and ask the questions why and how did we get here? We don't like doing that. All we like doing is watching TV, watching sports, and being distracted with whatever we can be distracted by. And not asking the tough questions. Was it our behavior that got us into that mess? Yeah, probably was. Did we bring this on ourselves? Yes, it probably was. And to set everyone at ease, we won't do that again. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people in Florida and in Texas and in other places of the country, because you hear about this everywhere. Everyone from California is showing up. God, I hope they don't vote the way they did back home. The whole country's in panic because the rats are jumping ship. The rats are jumping ship. But what do you think? I want to hear what you say down below. Put a comment down below and be sure to like the video. That tells YouTube that people actually watch and enjoy my channel. If you haven't noticed these days, I'm not getting a lot of views compared to the amount of subscribers that I have. I just don't get a lot of love around here. Anyway, all that to say, yes, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you're seeing where you are? And, do you agree or do you disagree? That, it may take some self-reflection on our part to maybe not repeat the mistakes of the past going forward. Leave a comment below and let me know if that's the case. And let me know if you're worried about where you live and what kind of transplants that you're seeing. Are you seeing people from Texas jumping ship because of all the people from California jumping ship to go to Texas? Leave a comment below, or Florida or anywhere else. I'd love to hear from you. And again, make sure you like the video. All right, guys. Hey, check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our stupid should hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less New Yorks and Californias. You can buy the shirt, teespring.com. Link in the description below. It'll be your #1 shirt, too. See you next time on the Homestead. Bye. If you've watched my channel, you know that I'm a fan of owning precious metals in times of economic turmoil. The reason being is because I'm an avid reader of history. One of the biggest objections to buying precious metals that I get goes something like this. Why buy precious metals? After all, you can't eat gold and silver. Actually, this is incorrect. Never has there been a time throughout all of human history where a producer of food has turned down the use of gold and silver when trying to make a sale. Never. Not once. Gold and silver have always been used when fiat money fails, and fiat money always eventually fails. There are countless times in history where governments hard up for real money took silver and copper coins from the past and then placed a countermark on the coin and then placed that old coin back into circulation. It didn't matter that it was an old coin of a different time and place. What mattered was the metal content. In the 1820s, the farmers in the German town of Natzheim would find Roman silver denarii so often in their fields when plowing that they would save them and use them to buy beer at the local tavern. In the 1840s, around the French town of Usure, Roman silver and gold coins were so numerous that people used them to pay bakers, butchers, and other merchants for their food goods. These are coins that were long gone in official circulation from the Roman Empire, but people used them anyway to pay for food even above their own official state-issued currency. Yes, you can eat gold and silver because gold and silver always buys food. If you have fiat paper savings banked away and you want to find a more historically reliable way to safeguard that wealth, this website can help you. AmericanGoldEscape.com gives you information and a way to reach out so that an expert can help you and show you how to escape. We are over $33 trillion in debt and rising rapidly. There is no saving this sinking ship. Visit AmericanGoldEscape.com to learn more. Linked in the description below. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait,